All right, so welcome to another deep dive with us.
Yeah.
This time we're going to be going through You Can Win,
That's a good one.
which is pretty much like a guidebook to winning.
Absolutely.
Not just in business, but in life.
Yeah.
Like how to be a winner in life.
That's right.
So we're going to go through all the chapters and, yeah, just pick out all the interesting stuff.
The strategies, all the tools.
Exactly. So chapter 1 dives right into the power of attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this really cool anecdote about a balloon seller
Right.
at a fair.
Yep.
And he's got all these different colored balloons.
Yeah.
And he's like, which one do you want?
Yeah.
And the kid's like, I don't know.
I want that one.
And he picks this black balloon.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, the black balloon.
Try a black bull.
But the balloon seller was like, it doesn't matter what color it is.
It's what's inside that counts.
It's what's inside that makes it rise.
Exactly.
And he fills it with helium and boom, it floats up.
Yep.
And it's like a really nice metaphor for attitude being the thing that makes us rise.
Absolutely. I love that anecdote.
And it introduces this concept of total quality people.
TQPP.
TQP.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think it's really interesting because it shifts the focus from just skills and knowledge
Yeah.
to character and values.
Right.
Think about the people you admire.
Mm-hmm.
Chances are they're not just skilled, but they're also trustworthy. They have integrity. They have a positive impact on others.
Yeah.
Those are the TQP qualities.
It's about being a good person as well as like
Absolutely.
knowing how to do stuff. So
Yeah.
even if you're super skilled but you're a jerk,
Right.
you're not going to...
You're not a TQP.
Yeah.
You're not going to win in the long run.
And the book argues that even the best customer service programs
Yeah.
will fail if the employees don't genuinely want to serve.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't fake that.
Exactly.
Like, you can't just put on a smile and pretend.
Right.
You have to actually want to help people. You have to have that genuine desire to serve.
Which is interesting. It's like there's that quote, the greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitude of mind.
Yeah.
William James.
Love that quote.
So it's not just about thinking positive thoughts.
Right.
It's about cultivating this genuine desire to serve and a belief in ourselves.
Yeah.
But what does winning even mean in this context?
That's a great question. And chapter 2 really challenges our conventional definition of success.
Okay.
It's not about hitting the jackpot or becoming a millionaire overnight.
Right.
It's about making choices and putting in consistent effort over time.
So it's more like a marathon than a sprint.
Exactly.
And I love the idea that success leaves clues.
Oh, yeah.
We can learn from people who've already achieved what we want to achieve.
Absolutely. By studying their paths, we can identify the patterns and principles that lead to fulfilling lives.
There's a quote that really resonated with me. The uncommon man seeks opportunity, whereas the common man seeks security.
It's like a call to action to step out of our comfort zones.
It is. It suggests that true success lies not in playing it safe, but in seeking out and creating opportunities for growth.
So we need to be proactive.
Yes.
But what are the actual steps?
Well, the book dives into a set of strategies, a toolkit for winning.
Okay.
And one that really stood out to me is the importance of desire, that burning desire to achieve a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
The author illustrates this with a really interesting story about Socrates.
I don't think I've heard that one.
So Socrates takes a young man to a river and dunks him underwater.
Oh, wow.
And when the man surfaces gasping for air,
Yeah.
Socrates reveals the secret to success, having an all-consuming desire.
Wow.
Just like that man's desperate need for air.
That's a powerful image.
It is.
But wanting it isn't enough, is it?
No, it's not.
We need to be fully committed.
Exactly. Commitment goes beyond wishing. It requires us to be all in, dedicating our time and energy to pursuing our goals.
So desire and commitment.
And two key ingredients.
And then the book also stresses taking responsibility
Oh, absolutely.
for our choices and our outcomes.
Yeah.
No more blame game.
No more excuses.
Right.
Own your actions.
So we need a burning desire.
Yes.
Commitment
Right.
and responsibility.
The 3 pillars.
But this reminds me of a question I've always had.
Okay.
What about talent?
Uh-huh.
Does hard work really beat talent every time?
That's an interesting question.
Like, the book even quotes Henry Ford.
Right.
The harder you work, the luckier you get.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
It's interesting because the book doesn't dismiss talent,
Okay.
but it emphasizes that even the most talented individuals achieve their goals through dedication and effort. Luck often favors those who are prepared and persistent in their endeavors.
So talent might give you a head start,
Perhaps
but it's hard work
it's the work ethic
that gets you to the finish line.
that makes the difference.
And speaking of important qualities, The book talks a lot about character.
Yes, character is crucial.
And in this context, character isn't just about being nice.
Right. It's about integrity, unselfishness, conviction, and courage.
It's about building a strong moral foundation that guides us through challenges and keeps us grounded in our values.
Exactly.
So character matters.
It does.
But what about all those times when we doubt ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
Imposter syndrome is a real thing, right?
Always.
How can we cultivate this winning attitude when we're like, I don't know if I can do this?
Yeah, that's where the book's emphasis on positive believing comes in.
Okay.
It's not just about thinking happy thoughts.
Right.
It's about having deep-seated faith in yourself and your abilities.
So you really have to believe it.
You have to believe it deep down.
Not just like, oh yeah, I'm great.
Fake until you make it doesn't work here.
So it's almost like building a mental muscle.
It is.
We need to train ourselves to believe in our potential.
Absolutely.
But how do we do that practically? What are some tools?
Well, the book talks about the power of enthusiasm.
Okay.
It's not just about being peppy or cheerful.
Right.
It's about finding a genuine passion for what you're doing.
So you have to like what you're doing.
Ideally, yes.
If you don't like what you're doing, it's going to be hard to be enthusiastic about it.
It's going to be a grind.
So enthusiasm is like fuel for the journey.
It is.
But what about those inevitable setbacks?
Everyone faces them.
How do we keep going when things get tough?
That's where persistence comes in.
Okay.
Remember, success is often failure turned inside out.
Oh, I like that.
The book even includes a poem called Don't Quit to really drive home this point.
Oh, wow.
It's about developing resilience, that ability to bounce back from failures and keep moving forward.
So don't quit.
Don't quit.
Embrace the challenges.
See them as opportunities for growth.
Don't let them derail you.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got desire, commitment, responsibility, hard work, character, positive, believing, enthusiasm, persistence.
And don't forget pride and performance.
Oh, yeah, pride and performance.
Doing every job well, no matter how small.
It's a reflection of you.
Exactly.
And mentorship.
Oh, yes, finding someone who can guide you and share their wisdom.
So it's like having a shortcut to success.
It's not a guarantee, but it can definitely accelerate your growth and provide invaluable insights.
So we've got this whole arsenal of tools for winning.
We do.
But the book goes even deeper, right?
It does.
It talks about the importance of self-esteem.
Yes.
Why is that the foundation for everything else?
That's a great question, and that's where we'll pick up in part 2 of our deep dive.
Stay tuned.
We'll explore how self-esteem impacts every aspect of our lives and how it all ties back to this idea of winning.
Welcome back to our deep dive into You Can Win. In part 1, we unpacked some powerful strategies for success, but we left off on this idea of self-esteem.
Right. Chapter 4 dives into this idea that self-esteem is the foundation for everything else.
Yeah, and it starts with this really heartwarming anecdote about an executive and a beggar selling pencils.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
It really got me thinking about how even small acts of kindness
Right.
can have such a ripple effect.
Absolutely. Like a great illustration of how simply acknowledging someone's worth can have a profound impact.
So the executive, he could have just dropped $1 in the beggar's bowl and walked away.
Right.
But instead, he chooses to buy some pencils and treat the beggar like a businessman.
Like a human being.
Like a human being.
Worthy of respect.
And acknowledging his value as a person.
Yeah, and what's amazing is that 6 months later, they meet again at a party. But this time, the beggar is in a suit and tie.
Wow.
He explains that the executive's simple act of respect gave him the confidence to turn his life around.
That's so powerful.
It really is.
It shows how just believing in yourself can make such a difference.
It's like that analogy of a pumpkin growing inside a jar.
Yeah.
If we see ourselves as small and incapable, we'll never reach our full potential.
That's such a vivid image. So our self-concept creates those boundaries.
It does.
But how does this relate to success?
Well, the book argues that self-esteem impacts every aspect of our lives, our work, our relationships, our accomplishments, everything.
Okay, so it's not just about feeling good about yourself.
Right.
It actually affects your ability to succeed.
It influences how we approach challenges, how we interact with others, and how we perceive ourselves in the world.
So someone with high self-esteem is more likely to take risks,
Yes.
bounce back from setbacks, and just generally believe in their ability to achieve their goals.
Exactly.
And on the flip side, low self-esteem can lead to self-doubt, negativity, and a fear of failure.
It can be incredibly debilitating.
There's a quote in this chapter from John F. Kennedy that I found really thought-provoking. Our privileges can be no greater than our obligations. The protection of our rights can endure no longer than the performance of our responsibilities.
That's a good one.
What do you think he meant by that?
I think it speaks to the idea that true self-worth comes from contributing to something larger than ourselves.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that we have a responsibility to use our talents and abilities to make a positive impact on the world.
So self-esteem isn't just about feeling good about yourself. It's also about doing good for others.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing our interconnectedness and using our unique gifts to contribute to the collective good.
That's a powerful message. So self-esteem is about believing in ourselves, recognizing our worth, and contributing to something bigger.
It's a holistic concept.
But what about our interactions with others? How does self-esteem play a role in building successful relationships?
That's a great question. And it leads us perfectly into Chapter 5, which focuses on the importance of building positive relationships.
Oh, but yeah, because the author makes this bold statement.
Let's hear it.
We do not have business problems. We have people problems.
It's true, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, achieving success often involves getting people on board with your vision.
Right.
It's about building trust, inspiring others, and collaborating effectively.
So it's not just about being a lone wolf.
Right.
It's about understanding that success is often a team effort.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly. And this goes beyond just having a charming personality.
Yeah, it's not just about being likable.
It's about developing genuine interest in others, listening attentively, and communicating effectively.
Those are essential skills for building strong relationships.
The book actually makes a distinction between having a pleasing personality and just being good looking.
Right.
So you can be attractive, but if you're not a good person,
Exactly.
people aren't going to want to be around you.
It's about cultivating the right attitude, behavior, and expressions.
So it's more than just surface level.
It's about being authentic and approachable, radiating warmth and genuine interest in others.
There's a wonderful story in this chapter called Life is an Echo.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
It's about this young boy who gets angry with his mother and shouts, "I hate you."
Oh, no.
And then he runs to a valley and shouts the same phrase, only to hear it echoed back to him. And he gets frightened and runs back to his mother and tells her about the bad boy in the valley. And she wisely tells him to go back and shout, "I love you." And of course, the echo responds in kind.
It's a beautiful story.
It illustrates how our actions and words have a way of returning to us.
What we put out into the world comes back to us.
So if we want to build positive relationships, we need to cultivate that positive energy.
Exactly.
And this connects to a quote by John D. Rockefeller that the author highlights. "I will pay more for the ability to deal with people than for any other ability under the sun."
Wow, coming from a business tycoon like Rockefeller, that's a pretty powerful statement.
It shows that even in the cutthroat world of business,
Right?
building strong relationships is key to success.
Absolutely. People skills are invaluable.
But we're not just talking about external relationships, are we? What about our relationship with ourselves?
That's a crucial point, and it leads us into Chapter 6, which explores the power of the subconscious mind.
All right, so welcome back to the final part
Yeah, last one.
of our deep dive into You Can Win.
I know, I can't believe we're already here.
I know, time flies when you're having fun.
It does. Talk about winning.
Exactly.
So we've explored a ton of strategies, right?
We have.
From like the power of attitude to building strong relationships and even tapping into that subconscious mind. But now we're getting into what feels like the heart of it all, which is dealing with negativity.
Right.
Because Chapter 7 dives right into this challenge, and
Yeah.
it's everywhere these days.
It really is, and it's so contagious.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it spreads easily, and it can quickly infect our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors.
It's like a virus.
Exactly like a virus.
And I know from personal experience how easy it is to get sucked into like
oh, yeah.
a vortex of negativity.
Especially when you're surrounded by negative people.
Yeah, or you're constantly like bombarded with negative news.
Oh, yeah. Doom scrolling.
The book compares negative thoughts to weeds in a garden. If
Oh.
we don't actively cultivate positive thoughts,
Right.
negativity is just going to take root and spread.
It'll choke out all the good stuff.
So we need to be gardeners of our minds,
I like that.
weeding out those negative thoughts and planting seeds of positivity.
That's a good analogy.
But how do we do that practically? What are some strategies?
Well, the book offers some really practical advice.
Okay.
One key strategy is setting boundaries.
Okay.
We need to be mindful of who we allow into our inner circle and what information we consume.
So it's about being selective.
It is.
About who you spend your time with and what you let into your mind.
Absolutely.
If someone's constantly, like, draining your energy with their negativity,
Yeah.
it might be time to limit your exposure to them.
Sometimes you have to protect your own mental and emotional well-being.
Yeah, sometimes you got to cut those people out.
It's not always easy, but sometimes it's necessary.
But what about those times when you can't avoid negativity? Like if you have a negative coworker,
Right.
or you're just dealing with like a really stressful situation.
Yeah, life happens.
Life happens.
The book talks about the importance of reframing negative thoughts. It's about challenging those negative thoughts and choosing to see things from a more positive perspective.
So it's not about denying the reality of the situation.
Right.
It's about choosing to focus on the aspects that you can control.
And finding the silver lining, even in difficult circumstances.
So like if you get laid off from your job, instead of freaking out,
Yeah.
you'd be like, okay, this is an opportunity to start something new.
Exactly.
Or to finally pursue that passion project I've always wanted to do.
Or to spend more time with your family.
Exactly. And the book also emphasizes the power of gratitude.
Oh, yes. Gratitude is huge.
Taking time each day to appreciate the good things in your life.
Even the small things.
Even the small things like a good cup of coffee,
a sunny day,
a sunny day,
warm bed,
can shift our focus away from what's lacking.
and help us cultivate a more positive outlook.
It's like a reset button for your mind.
It is.
So, gratitude, reframing negative thoughts, and setting boundaries.
3 powerful tools for dealing with negativity.
And when you combine all of that with the strategies we talked about in the previous episodes, you've got a pretty solid foundation for winning in life.
I think so.
So that's You Can Win,
By Shiv Khera.
an incredible book packed with wisdom and practical advice.
Absolutely.
And I hope you enjoyed our deep dive into it.
Me too.
And that you found some valuable nuggets
The golden nuggets.
to apply to your own life.
Exactly.
Because ultimately you can win
You can win.
if you set your mind to it and follow these principles.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving to make your life a masterpiece.
And don't forget to win.